Congress returns to Washington tomorrow and faces the looming deadline for the so-called fiscal cliff. That's the package of big tax increases and budget cuts that take effect automatically at the end of this year, unless Congress and the White House can come up with a compromise on the federal budget. Nancy Cordes is at the White House tonight. And Nancy, when do the negotiations really start?
Well, Scott, the president will be meeting with Democratic and Republican leaders from Congress here at the White House on Friday. But even before then, he's going to be working to lock in support for his positions from some key constituencies. He's sitting down with labor leaders tomorrow and then with leaders from the business community on Wednesday. And this is a group that hasn't always seen eye to eye with this president, but has shown some support for his position that tax revenue needs to be on the table as part of these talks. This weekend, a few more influential Republicans expressed a new openness to that position as well. However, in exchange, they want Social Security and Medicare reforms to be on the table. Scott, one top Democratic aide told me that Senate Democrats are split on this front. Some see entitlement reforms as key to a big debt deal, while others feel that it's giving away too much, especially right after a big victory.
Nancy, thank you very much. You may be wondering how this whole fiscal cliff mess happened to begin with. Well, it's the result of a showdown between the White House and the Congress. Last year, the government needed to borrow to pay its debts, but Congress wouldn't authorize it unless the president agreed to big cuts in spending. Well, the negotiations were a train wreck. So, faced with America defaulting on its debts, Congress okayed the borrowing on one condition: that at the end of this year, $1 trillion would be cut and the Bush tax cuts would expire. The idea was to make these automatic cuts so painful that the parties would work out a reasonable budget. There are now 6 weeks to go.